Viewer discretion advised. I am rebellious. I am a man without a cause, and I'm wearing my hat indoors. So I know you may cast your judgments real quick and assume I'm just too wild for YouTube, and I accept this as my fate. With that being the case, I wish to bring to, well, it was brought to my attention. I want to give a big thank you to, and I like naming names, especially when it's for positive. I don't like, the drama fest and name dropping and all of that. Your sins will find you out. And perhaps I'll touch on some of the things that have transpired, and I will try my best to ignore some of the events that happen every day. And with that being said, if this is your first time here visiting, I will naturally say Shabbat Shalom Lahaim, hello, Queen Justo, which is actions, not distractions. That's a channel trying a lot of effort, putting a lot of effort, a lot more than I am. And my hat's off to you. Okay, now back to hats indoors, because we got no respect up in this hizzy, okay? Good evening to you, White Dragon and Warrior Mom, Cindy D. My son's life mattered. So, okay, check it out. I'm just going to jump right in. And before I do, I will mention this. I got an anonymous, we're going to keep it that way, an anonymous email from somebody who is very much was involved in, some of the circles that we're all familiar with. If you're on this little slice of YouTube, then you may know which communities I'm referring to. I just want to let it be known, even though I'm not going to step into the rehashing anymore, there is somebody who has been ignored, whose story has not been told, and who is reaching out. And I do intend to find out a lot of things, and we'll see what the truth is. And it's going to take a matter of consistency. Now, with that being said, to the digging right in part, I don't think that I believe what I just saw, and she's not here at the moment. So allow me to say thank you to Shamrock. Shanrock Silenced, I believe, is the name, the full name, because we all know on YouTube. I don't know, how shall I say it without being so dramatic? Just good old-fashioned free speech is not always respected in on some platforms, and the sanctity of being a private for-profit business seems to trump our constitutional rights for some reason, and people will go to bat for that and die on that hill. Will I understand that? No, never. But then again, I don't have an agenda. So I really wish I was one of those channels where I know if I just sat and waited, people would pile in, but it just don't go that way. And I'm at peace with that. This will just be said, shared, and right here for all to see. Share your opinions in real time. I value everybody's individual thinking. I need to hear outside anything. No echo chambers, no yes men. I just need to hear any sort of thoughts and opinions that may not align with mine, so we can keep it honest. Okay, let me keep it a buck with you. So allow me to show you this video. Looks can be deceiving. Now that is not what you think it
This
is.
is
I
a really good
promise.
article that talks.
Hold on. This is the messenger here. She is the practical one. Everybody, this our issues with certain elements of the the LGBTQYP coconut SpongeBob community. It is not about looks. It's not being an outlier. It's not that you stand out. We celebrate individuality and expression and art and all the beautiful things that we have within us. Hell, I'm a geek with a bunch of comic books. That's why if you're here from the shorts that I produce, which is just me hitting live on my phone and sharing one of the infinite comic books I have. I just don't want anybody to get confused what the channel's about. It's always about the pursuit of the truth, finding the hypocrisy, recognizing we do not have a system that serves us and even incentivizes us to just be yes men, sheep, essentially. Sheep, no shepherds. And then on the side, the shorts are just a passion of mine, comics. So I wish this were a comic book right now, but this apparently I've only gone this far. Thank you again. Progressive Patriot, House of Madness. It just so happens to be a page, one of many pages that I'm a part of on the Facebook realm, A Dying Breed, because I understand all the cool kids go on Discord, me never, and Instagram, where you can find about 5,000 Keanu Reeveses that all want you to fly out and visit them. Inside joke. So check this out. If my ears do not deceive, just have a listen.
This is a really good article that talks about the bill AB 957.
AB 957. Okay. In real time, yes, I know I'm going to do the Google foot. No, let's do a DuckDuckGo. We're going to let that play, but what kind of guy would I be if I didn't have my due diligence? Yeah, I'm doing it the long way, I know. Okay, AB 957, California. I can't believe my ears still. Yeah, wow. Okay, I'm gonna have this open and I'm gonna go back and we're gonna let it ride. Okay, here we go. And if you can't see it for yourself, if you're listening from somewhere, breaking and above political slash news. That those two things should sometimes be different. The news should be just a regurgitation of the facts, not twisted and manipulated for what they are, for the person to listen. With that being said, California bill would charge any parent who doesn't affirm transgenderism with child abuse. Now, if I'm not a scholar, I'm far from a lawman. I don't write bills. We all pay our taxes, unless you can't, and if you know the way, let me know. Uh, So if a parent who doesn't affirm, if you don't accept trans, does that mean if your child says, hey, let's say 4-year-old Billy says, I am now a girl and I want to be a girl, and you're gonna call me Crystal, and if you say no, 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 Billy, don't be silly, um, that's all. We'll just say that for the sake of the argument here. Apparently, that will come with some consequences, and you'll be labeled a child abuser. Tell me they're not trying to force feed this down our throats. So now, I'll let it play, and I'll STF you. I promise. Scouts honor.
California bill would charge any parent who doesn't affirm transgenderism with child abuse. So remember I told you it was amended after it flew through assembly and now it's worse. So let's look at it. Originally, AB 957 required courts to consider whether a child's parents were gender affirming in custody cases. Weiner's amendment completely
Wait. So somebody could get the up. I said I'd shut up. That didn't mean the entire time. Fair use and all that. If there's a proceeding and a custody battle, does that mean some manipulative parent, the bad one, could say, well, I'd accept my child if it wanted to be a plant, and the other one was more grounded in reality and would not budge? And then we just prove right there that the system wants people that are willing to play the game instead of people that are just will stick to their guns. I said guns.
rewrites California's standard of childcare. AB 957 post amendment
Starts in the
would
most
include a
liberal
parent's
It starts in the most liberal states, and then do not be shocked when it's at your door.
affirmation of the child's gender identity as part of the health, safety, and welfare of the child, altering the definition and application of the entire California Family Code. By changing the definition of what constitutes the health, safety, and welfare of a child, schools, churches, hospitals, and other organizations interacting with children would be required to affirm gender transitions in minors
But what?
by default
Whoa.
or risk charges of child abuse.
Wait. Okay. By changing the definition, right? I understand. Okay. Of what constitutes the health, safety, and welfare. So, okay, schools, churches, hospitals, other organizations interacting with children would be so. Okay, the whole system now. Again, with the force feeding, you have to play my game and pretend you agree and believe with everything and vote this way if you want to enjoy, I don't know, the fruits of whatever, not your labors, but the labors of the system. You can only profit if you play along, and they're going to require schools, churches, hospitals, and other organizations to cater to this gender affirming crap. I don't know any other word to give it. Candace Owens and other conservative voices are being silenced for being critical on this very issue. Is Pride Month still happening right now? Memorial Day was what, one day? Okay, anyway. So, okay. I like Candace Owens' approach. She has given examples of the many mistakes where people recognize they made an impulsive decision, or the consequences and the infections and the money, they just don't have it, and they're stuck with the mistake. They cannot pay to fix it, and the doctors get a lifelong patient and a lifelong paycheck. Okay, so now the whole, and this is more than just the parents. Now it's the whole town, the whole district has to play along.
AB 957 could also
AB
expand which
957.
organizations provide evidence of gender non affirmation to California's courts. Because of the addition of gender affirmation to the qualifications of California's standard for health, safety, and welfare, California's courts would now be able to accept reports of gender abuse from progressive activist organizations,
Oh,
such as
I'm
they claim
sorry.
to
Okay, this is why I've really I got chased away from the left, because progressive is being used as an excuse for regressiveness. Regression would be the appropriate term. I'm no part of this. I still think there are some fundamental ideals I have that would not be embraced by the right. But this is where the left has gone too far, and they keep just moving the goalpost. So I had to run off like Forrest Gump style. Run, Forrest, run! They're coming for you and yours. And I dipped on out. And this is what's happening. Oh, okay. Deep breath.
provide services to victims of sexual assault or domestic violence.
Is misgendering going to be considered? I mean, we know it's already building up to be a crime. Is it going to be a hate crime? Is it going to be considered violence? But it's going to be definitely, we know, considered child abuse. Child abuse. Could you, if it gets so bad, if you misgender your child so many times because you don't want to play along with the game and the system, could you go to jail with the label of being a child abuser? Holy smokes, man.
In essence, a boy could report his parents to his local school's Gay Straight Alliance Club or other LGBT organizations, which could then report the boy's parents for child abuse. So, this bill is going to
Holy
have a Senate Judiciary Committee hearing. I suggest you go. This bill flew. There was no spotlight on it, there was no.
Okay, that always leads me to this same exact place in this moment in time. Every single time, like right now, what's happening? I don't pay attention to the mainstream. I just get little tidbits, little chicken feed here and there. UFOs, 10 feet tall creatures. CNN is talking about this. China is getting super aggressive. When we actually go and listen, well, I'm not saying go listen to the Chinese propaganda news network, but when we listen to their actual responses, they're just like, what? What? Why don't you mind your own business? Okay, so yes, I am going to say, while I do view China as a threat, both economically, I don't know what to say, militarily, it would be a devastator, I think. Um, while the attention is all on that, and Trump is coming to my town tomorrow, and boy, did that make for good family conversation today. To talk about taking documents home, the same thing Biden did, and the email leaks that Hillary Clinton was able to do and face no jail time. That's where our attention is, right? While we're not viewing the hypocrisy on the things that we have not gone after. This is what flies under the radar. Always look for what passes bipartisanly. Now I want to know who signed this bill. And I thought I'm under the assumption, am I wrong? Please tell me, let me know when I check comments. Can one party throw a bill through, since California is essentially a liberal haven, safe space, whatever? Even though the violence there is very real, crime there is very real, just like in New York, the revolving door. I don't know enough about the cash bail bond, whatever's going on there with that element, but how does this happen, and why does it not get the spotlight? Well, we're too busy looking at things that we feel in our hearts are higher stakes. But it takes just a little bit of this to keep on growing and growing and growing, and boom, it's an issue, and you can already do nothing about it. That good old slow, silent stealth drip. The news media and its complicit, our complicit government, I won't call them our leaders, are like rogues in the night, stealthily doing whatever they want in the shadows, and then boom, we find out it's already in place, and it's harder to remove a bill to make it not a law and not recognized than it is to vote against it. So okay,
Red flags on it. It flew down party lines. You have to engage on this. This is crazy. So now the hearing is set for June 13th at 1:30. This is the address 1021 O Street, room
whoa,
2100.
that happened today. I honestly wish I would have checked this earlier. I want to. I need to see something. Did she insinuate that it flew through party lines? All right, I'm looking at assembly bill right here, California legislature. Sorry, late, tired, don't care. Okay, what is all this redaction? Why is there red lines in this? What enact to amend? What? I'm confused. So give me a moment to I want to understand why would this be posted and in red, and then there's a line through everything. So, all right. Existing law authorizes a person to petition for a court order confirming the person's name to the person's gender identity. Existing law requires the court, upon the filing of a petition. Oh, this is going to make everything so much more complicated. Doesn't that already add to the system that doesn't serve us under the pretense of red tape and bureaucracy? There's just one excuse after another, and here's just another one that I can't say we the people. I don't know who's signing these bills into law, but apparently the status quo is to just say yes. It's all about love, feelings. Screw your facts. Forget biology. It's about feelings. Feelings just matter more than your rights. I don't know why I broke out into song. I'm just going mad, I suppose. So yeah, this is gonna just make our our process that moves at a snail's pace come to a screeching halt, I think, but maybe I'm an alarmist. This bill would require the court to strongly consider that affirming the minor's gender identity is in the best interest of the child. Okay, all right. I want, I want more. I want more. Where's some news about this? This is all. Give me some news. Give me some. Okay. First California lawmaker with an out trans child wants state to draw a line in the sand. Okay, I'm gonna say the first thought that came to mind without even worrying about the consequences, because that's the world we should live in. Is it because somebody that is personally invested, and they're supposed to not be, okay? Anybody that makes a law or is in the seat of power is supposed to be unbiased. They're not supposed to have something that's too personal. We have a term for that, I believe. That is a term that has been widely, well, if I say respected, I'd be lying. But it's a thing in law, okay? Just like a lawyer couldn't go and try, their spouse's attacker, assailant. We would not allow somebody who is personally invested with this, what do I call it, movement, redefining of facts, to be at the seat where these bills get signed and written. So drawing a line in the sand because you have a child that has, well, you probably have more money because you have people that are slipping money in your back pockets. It's legal to bribe. It's pay to play politics. That's where we've allowed everything to go. Can I see some? Okay, California is killing another industry that family needs. Okay, that's no shocker. I guess we're gonna have to go with the. Okay, I'm still reading. Video shows man perched outside. Nope. I guess we're gonna go with The Line in the Sand by the San Francisco Chronicle. See, I can already tell because of this picture. Proud, smiling, sitting. They would be using an image that's insulting or gray, not flattering. If it was going to be, I guess, against what has been pushed. So now we know it's going to be a fluff piece, not a hit piece. When Assembly Member Lori Wilson, I need to remember that name because we need to hold everybody accountable. Putting that, this is supposed to be the priorities right now. Really, I thought the mainstream, they want to put Trump away and they want to lead us into believing that WW3 is around the corner. So bear with me. I take notes. Lori Wilson, AB 597. Okay. Wilson, the first California legislator with an out transgender child, said her son Kieran's transition in 2016 was an empowering time in his life. His? Okay. California's early adoption of trans inclusive policies allowed Kieran to transition at school on his own terms. I'm going to assume that the he is perhaps a she. That reminds me of Ace Ventura suddenly. As he gradually took on a more masculine appearance, pronouns, and his chosen name. Okay, it not it. She was a she, and then uh, everything that followed that individual journey had a huge, I guess, impact. Who knows I don't know what kind of culpability. How does a parent? All right, let me stop feeding my bias because I have issues with this stuff. Let me just read the damn story, okay? Let me get my unbiased glasses on. But when Wilson looks at the situation for transgender youth today, transgender youth, can we not put those two things together exclusively, mutually, every single damn day? She's far more fearful. Oh, God. Okay, all right. All right. The moment of optimistic progress the LGBTQ people experienced when Kieran came out has evaporated. I thought you guys are doing swell. HBO Max they have a whole season. It's Pride Month is still on every streaming service I have. I'm not saying just do with that and that's all you get. No, clearly it's ever flowing, and I mean, you tank companies when it's pandered to. So I guess you guys are catching where it works, where it doesn't. This is just a disaster to watch evolve, and I hate knowing that my Democratic friends call me a bigot, but I don't care, and there's the difference. All right, stick to the damn article. They were making wait, no, it's so sad to me. It's 2023. This is so antiquated. Oh, you $25 word thrower, said Wilson, a Democrat from Sioux Sun City, a small pineapple under the tree. They were making progress and now it's regressing. Hey, that's my word for progressives that use that moniker. Now they have to fight again. Really? Looks like you changed the whole battleground to suit your own playing field. We're in a sandbox now. The fight has come to California Capitol as legislators, advocates, and parents of LGBTQ pineapples and SpongeBob's young people push back against a wave of anti. How about differentiated opinions? How about just that's it? Tomato, tomato. You say that's a penis, and you say that's a vagina. Okay. It's anti LGBTQ rights, right? Lawmakers have proposed an even more robust slate of you get even more provocative pro bills. But yes, you're feeling oh so oppressed. They include measures that would require public schools to provide an all gender restroom. God man, an all gender restroom. There are cases. I hate when people assume it's some sort of an anecdotal argument. It's just, I'll say, underreported. There's so many examples already. You use DuckDuckGo. Don't use Google for this one. Go ahead and check out how many times a male has gone into a female's private area, space, restroom, something, changing room, and just claimed that they identified as a female. If you're looking for an example right now, think women's sports, only on a more personal scale. So we're pushing for just all gender what the okay, require teachers to receive LGBTQ cultural competency training. Come on, man. What are we even teaching over there anymore? How about teaching how to use credit cards and taxes? I hope this is not for like elementary school. Please tell. Oh, of course it's going to be. I'm going to bite my tongue. Okay, and ensure that courts prioritize affirming a child's gender identity and making parental custody decisions. Live in the delusion. LGBTQ coconut pineapples advocate says those bills deal with real problems facing Californians. but but are also meant to send a message that the Golden State continues to push forward on equality issues, even as Republicans try to capitalize on fears about trans people ahead of the 2024 elections, which is the most secure thing we're ever to expect, quote unquote. We are going through a really dark moment in terms of the fight for full equality. It's a fight for children, and they just happen to be your most convenient scapegoat. I am sickened by the amount of photographs I've seen where the children are taken and used as some sort of photo op, and there is a drag queen with realistic looking tits, boobs, whatever, and sitting on the laps of these people in a clearly adult atmosphere, and they got their wristbands on, and everybody's having a great time, and we're forgetting I am not the one that ever championed, like, the nuclear family, although it has its values, or just, civilization has its moral standing. This has never been my fight, but when it's been pushed so violently in our faces, you have to take a stand at some point. So, okay, um, said Craig Pulsifer, whatever, legislative director for Equality California, one of the state's largest advocacy groups for the community. I wonder how their payouts are. I wonder who's funding them. How many grants the DNC get them, or how much do they pay to any, I don't know, campaigntees? Okay. These attacks have very real impacts on the safety and well-being of trans people. Can we get an age bracket here? Stop using just the broad term. You can't deny the statistics. You know what? I'm so sick of this. I'm real time. It's time to look at the numbers that they're so afraid to look at. Let's see what we have. Just this year alone, it's probably not enough time. Give me a moment. I do apologize. Okay. I'm going to, I can't say it out loud, right? It's within, uh, okay. Let's see how honest this is and how much fluff I get. More than 50% of the T and non-binary youth is so half. I'd even go so far as saying that there's more than half. That's a big number to ignore. That's a huge percentage. Is this a depopulation thing? I mean, I guess it's more convenient if people are just, unaliving themselves. You're making more patients, because the people that have to suffer because they're young, impulsive son or daughter went and made a decision that they ended up regretting, and now, I'm sorry to say, mama, papa, uncle, aunt, the whole family that's impacted maybe needs help. And maybe, since we're in such a pro pharma country, one of the we're, we're one out of two first world countries in the world that allows the pharmaceutical companies to advertise directly in our homes to us. Okay? Can't be an accident that we're just sitting on a 50% rate. That's like, if they go ahead with this, just saying, okay, all right, they got a 50-50 shot of seeing this through and surviving. How is that even statistically, ethically, morally acceptable? This is an issue. I didn't select this issue for any other reason. It's just in my face every day. And I've seen the examples of it going amok. And it's just not. Here, let's look at 2022 alone. Pure stats, pure numbers. Okay? YouTube, I'm just going off of what is. Okay, what do we got here? Whoa, 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 whoa. Here's that unaliving rate of trans people in the United States in 2022 by sex assigned at birth, their biological sex. That's a pretty large scale. So, blue is self unalived, pretty much ruled that way. And the dark blue, attempted. 85% females. 85% of our women have. Oh, I'm sorry. I read that wrong, and I don't want to do that. I apologize. Considered. Okay. Considered 85%. How can you ignore that? You got 50% accomplishing the act. You got 42% attempting the act. And in males, 77, almost 80%. of the males are considering it, have considered it, and then close to 40%, 37.2% have attempted. These are not acceptable outcomes and data. There's no amount of science, math, rhetoric, politics that makes that okay. All right, let me see where this ends with California, or what this begins really. We are going, okay, freaking dark times indeed. These attacks have yes, we know. California is not immune to the anti-trans that tide that surged nationally. What, you think y'all just discovered that we're not okay with this happening as it is with Bud Light and Dylan Mulvaney? No, no, it goes deeper than that. It goes deeper than beer. It goes to psychology, reality, common sense, and being able to say what something is. Calling a spade a spade. I'm even worried about saying something like that being misunderstood. I got to listen to the words on my glasses. Though state legislation has been supportive of LGBTQ rights, transphobia has seeped into the culture. I'm not going to read this crap. Last month, 2 high school runners. What about the the person that did not enjoy their biological sex that went to a Christian school? Where's that in your article? Let's be even-handed. No, instead we got the bill makers just looking proud. What other photographs do we got? It's all happiness, nobody's suffering. There's no depression. Look, live like this. This is an ad. This is an ad. This is not an article. It's a commercial. Come, and if you're confused in any way, just take the step. Go the full step, and look, we have states that will support you, and if not, we'll force them to. But the state is among only a handful of places in the country that are actively challenging anti-LGBTQ campaigns. More than 500 anti-trans bills. They're using the term anti very, very willingly, strategically. They're making it black and white without acknowledging the nuance, without the gray. There are people that are concerned about the very stats that you can look up for yourself. They pretend we are still in the dark ages, that we don't have access to information. I don't have it in me. Only one such bill has been introduced in California this year. Assembly Bill 1314, which would require school districts to notify parents if their child is using a different name or gender. Remember, this is a fight happening across the country where teachers apparently creepily want the right to keep whatever's going on in the school from the parents, from the family, going against every foundational principle of our schools in this country. At least so I thought or think. So let me see how they make that into a negative. To notify parents if a child is using different name or gender, so they could have like dual lives. Think of how that would impact the forming adult brain, the young brain that forms into its full, and it is prepared already, familiar with living a dual life. This has consequences later in life. The brain stops forming or developing at, is it 35, 25, 35, 25, I think, or 28? I don't know. But the Republican-led bill was shelved without a committee hearing. Oh, okay, what was shelved? Yeah, letting teachers have more rights than the parents that birthed them. What is this? Okay, all right, let me see. I'm here right now. Let me see what this video is. Hold on. There we go.
An opinion columnist and cultural critic for the San Francisco Chronicle, walked into a parental rights night event hosted by San Francisco Republicans. What Soleil saw was so horrifying, mean, and vile, they went straight home and threw up. The event was billed as an attempt at, quote, detangling the transgender narrative surrounding our children, unquote, and was filled with gross attacks and misinformation. Speakers claimed that gender affirmation, which is basically just acknowledging what a child is telling you they're feeling inside, is a cloaked system.
Sometimes you can't entertain the child's mind for what they're saying. If they say the sky is purple and they're really a crocodile inside, is it now child abuse to say, no, go on timeout? We'll talk about how you're a human being tomorrow? I'm confused.
Of eugenics. They accused parents of allowing their kids to be
Eugenics?
sterilized.
Whoa.
They accused parents of allowing their kids to be sterilized and insisted that most of these kids have mental illness. And emailed in.
The stats don't lie. You freaking puff piece, little shill, talking behind your podium in front of your audience, which are full of circle jerks. Nobody's disagreeing with you in studio.
Right for the dinner included a guest list with a person they described as a detransitioner, alongside the San Mateo.
Good. Those tales need to be told too. Are they pissed off because somebody who went through the process, which is very educational for both sides, went to share their experience and how that they, well, changed their minds and now have to live with the repercussions of changing their bodies back? That's hateful. They had to throw up, really? Or is that just your reporting?
Mateo County chair.
Or are feelings just that much more important than facts?
For the right-wing groups Moms for Liberty and Moms for America. Also,
right, I didn't know Moms for Liberty and Moms for America was now just a right-wing group. I'm sorry. I thought that was patriotic or a celebration of motherhood. I'm sorry.
There was someone there from Our Duty, which argues that transgender children are the way they are because they have been groomed and brainwashed into a belief system.
Look at what you're doing. Look at this article. This is like a promotion. This is not an article. This is not news. Okay? You're all in it together. You, Big Pharma, your doctors, everybody's on the freaking payroll. Everybody. Except the people that won't go along with the tide. There's money to be made at the cost of, I guess, lives. That's what y'all play with on the grander scale. 50% shot of survival in 2023.
The event was held under the guise of promoting parental rights and helping parents.
That's what it is. Oh my God. How do you look in the mirror and how do you sleep at night?
Advocate for your child, apparently at the expense of your child. I'm joined now by Soleil Ho, opinion writer and cultural critic for the San Francisco Chronicle. I read a little bit of what you experienced there. Tell me what some of the rest was.
Yeah, there were some really great.
I love how they take away any credibility that was experienced by this young lady, Miss Ho. No joke there. By laughing it off immediately at the onset. What kind of news is this? You are already psychologically informing your audience to not take seriously whatever is described and to laugh along. What a just pitiful tactic. Pitiful.
Great slideshows about the identifying wokeness in your school.
You could see how fake and how hard she's trying to bulge her eyes out.
Library. That was the topic of the speaker from Moms for Liberty, which, not surprising. There were some videos being shown on those big TV screens behind the bar that you usually see like football on. They were playing sort of TikToks and other sorts of amateur videos by people who were gender nonconforming, and there was a lot of noise.
I'm going to mimic the news anchor
in the crowd in response to that. It told me a lot about how
must blink, look human.
A lot of these politics are motivated by a sort of visceral disgust for people who are not gender conforming. To me, that was why I wanted to go, just to hear and feel just, was it going to be a calm crowd? Was it going to be a raucous crowd? Just how were they going to react in the moment to images and discussions about people who are trans?
I want to read you something really quickly. This is the Bay Area Reporter wrote a piece sort of previewing what this event was going to be about. And they quote a Republican, chairman of the local Republican Party, said, "We feel like there's something happening now that has increased the number of trans kids, especially in the teenage years, and needs to be addressed. It feels to many like there's an ideology associated with it, and that's what we're exploring." That's the fear that I feel like I'm hearing expressed by people on the right, that somehow something culturally.
Divide and conquer, man. Take the most radical things possible and propose it like the other side is just insane for not thinking like you.
That's happening in schools is tricking children into thinking they're trans. Is that the kind of thing they were alleging?
Yeah, basically just saying that there are books in the libraries, for instance, that were grooming kids, that there are teachers who were visibly.
Are you going to deny that there are not books in there that talks about material far too early for some children to be viewing or reading? Do we not have ample evidence of this being a case and existing? I'm not sorry for saying this. I go to my local comic shop every now and again. It's a very popular spot. And I'm the confused one, okay? I'm the older fella that goes there, and when I see the younger crowd, I see a bunch of guys, boys dressed in skirts, and girls, women dressed as male as possible. So I don't know. Now, am I a bigot? Am I biased? Should I be with the moms of America because I'm just saying that out loud? I'm just stating what I see, and it does seem that the atmosphere seems to promote that, almost like it makes them feel more accepted to go this route. I never thought I'd be the one speaking against woke anything because of the years I spent as a progressive and Democrat. But here we are.
The LGBT, and they were grooming kids just by existing. Just that there were sex education courses that were just offering alternative identities, just the fact that they existed, being part of.
I wonder if the speaker, the guest, has a child, because I'm sure she would be wondering for herself, Miss Ho. What if, little Timmy or Jenny came over and said, "Mommy, there was a boy that said he was a girl," and that's going to be uncomfortable for a mother dealing with a 4 to 6-year-old, and that's what they're going for with the more they push this stuff as being okay, normal, kumbaya, accept it or go away.
The programming and part of this brainwashing conspiracy by Marxist transgenders who are hoping to, again, sterilize and eliminate children who were vulnerable.
It's not that she said the quiet part out loud. It's that I do believe she sincerely sees anything that's alternative, counter to what she believes, as being exactly what she's describing. They're crazy people trying to make us look like the crazy ones. And what about an actual discussion? She would have done so much better to go on a panel to speak with somebody else that's not like-minded, that's not being paid by companies to go and speak the same damn things. The art of conversation is it's MSNBC, of course. Fun fact, Rachel Maddow, 2012, she was against the military-industrial complex. Now she is speaking at their events and getting paid oh so well. Oh, Rachel. Oh, MSNBC. Oh, mainstream. Oh, me, oh, my.
It's a strange thing that does feel like a panic, right? So you had this thing happen even outside of this. So Major League Baseball got into this whole back and forth with the Christian right about inviting the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, they're a drag group. You're a culture.
That would generate some questions from a child, methinks. Hey, look, there's a nun with a beard, sleeveless and somewhat provocatively dressed. That will get your attention at a ball game. Yeah, there's a conversation that needs to be had. Don't demonize people that are asking questions. What is this? Why is this? What's going on? Keep us informed. No, it's drawing a line in the sand as proposed by the title of this very fluff piece article.
Cultural critic, you monitor this stuff. Have you seen just
wait. Somebody quickly inform my bosses I've quit my job. I am now a cultural critic, okay? Yes, I will say what is status quo and what is no. That's my new job. Hired today. So be it. I have been appointed. Thank you.
A marked increase in the hysteria around things like drag that does feel like it's tied to the trans panic?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, trans panic is just the easiest. Easiest sounds so glib, but it is one of the easier entrees into this bigger, more general sense of repulsion toward people who are queer. It makes sense to me because it is just the most vulnerable group within the LGBT sort of system and the most easy.
Talk about why they're the most vulnerable. Look at the statistics, look at the stats. Let's talk about why they are the most vulnerable. and the most influenced, which is why this is an issue. And because you're making this stuff to go after them at their youngest before they can really draw their own lines in the proverbial sand. I was supposed to say. This is just ludicrous to me.
To beat up on. It's essentially priming people to more easily transpose that feeling of hate onto people who, are generally more accepted in that spectrum. So yeah, I've been watching what's been happening in the UK for years now, and this is just all according to the same playbook.
So it's not just in the US, this is happening outside of the US on the right more broadly.
Yes, absolutely.
$1,000 word salad is what that was. I'm not going to dignify this article. I'm over it. Let me check on you guys right quick, and I got another clip. I know where I stand, and I think there's many of you that know exactly where you stand as well. Okay? Hi, guys. How you doing? Hey, Katie, Steven, Millbilly, Mutated Illustration, Dawn, hashtag find Jamie Valdez. Sorry, I'm winded. I'm depressed. There's something wrong with me. I'm confused. I'm going to go get a sex change. Okay, so Trump's coming to Miami. All right, hard segue real quick. I have not seen this. Oh, Shamrock just came online. Shamrock, if you're in the chat, thank you for sharing the video that led me to this. So what we got here? Most secure election of all time. I'm sorry. Trump is... They're going forward with this indictment. I guess I thought at first there was a settlement with Stormy Daniels. I cannot keep up in all the ways that the witch hunt continues at the cost of the taxpayer. And oh my goodness, the people that defend it. So let me just see this very brief clip. Oh, I like the name of that channel. We're subscribing. Thank you. I can say this out loud according to terms of service reversal. Since we're safely 3 years away from the action as it happened. 2020 election fraud. You got my support.
Conclusion from that work.
Oh, that's low. Let's see if I can do anything about that without blowing out my mic. All right, volume is maxed out here. Here we go.
My conclusion from that work is that our highly computerized election infrastructure is vulnerable to sabotage and even to cyber attacks that could change votes.
2017. This guy right here. His credentials were just showed.
I know America's voting machines are vulnerable because my colleagues and I have hacked them repeatedly as part of a decade of research studying the technology that operates elections and learning how to make it stronger.
Ooh, this is the stuff that YouTube says they're cool with. We're going to test that metal here. Please do me a favor. If you found yourself here amongst my ramblings and ranting after midnight, go ahead and please show any support that you're able to. Hit the like button. It helps the channel out quite a bit. It's 2017. We got the warnings by think tanks testing the accuracy, the honesty, the integrity of the voting system. And we were told. And now Fox News is being sued by Dominion. And the viewers, the loyal listeners are being told to go along with that and just swallow that one deep down, right down, till it becomes something cancerous and festers and explodes into another J6. I won't go into details, but somebody in my family that I'm very close with exclaimed, "Oh, Trump said, I'll see you all in Miami," like that was some kind of dog whistle to his supporters that things are going to get violent. I love you so much, mystery person, but come on. And when I responded with, Biden did the same thing, Hillary Clinton, 2016, emails, yeah, okay, Eli. Thank you for the intellectual stimulating conversation.
We've created attacks that can spread from machine to machine like a computer virus and silently change election outcomes. We've studied touchscreen and optical scan systems, and in every single case, we've found ways for attackers to sabotage machines and to steal votes. As you know, states...
On top of this, we have a whole documentary, 2,000 Mules. On top of this right here, okay? This guy with all his credentials, I'll flash him on the page again. On top of whatever institution that was being funded by people to do everything they did with the ballots and whatever can be done with the hard drives and the hacking of the system, outside forces, external forces, and interior forces. We were screwed from the get-go in real time, but it was all premeditated.
Choose their own voting technology. And while some
They were doing this for 10 years, testing out how well, I guess, the system would respond to voting and how to compromise it. 10 years they studied and nobody listened. I didn't see this clip get viral. Here we are, 2023. Another election around the corner. Stakes couldn't be higher. And I'm playing a video from 2017 about how easily compromised this man and his colleagues could just change the outcome of an entire election. Is that okay? YouTube terms of service. I'm talking about 2020, and now I'm talking about current day.
Some states are doing well with security, others are alarmingly vulnerable. This puts the entire nation at risk. In close elections, an attacker can probe the most important swing states or swing counties, find areas with the weakest protection, and strike there. In a close election year, changing a few votes in key localities could be enough to tip national results.
Want you to take every single J6 prisoner right out of their cell right now. Right now. Lock up every plant, every agent, every provocateur. Put them away for inciting everything that the media was already ready to report. Because every bit of evidence, anything we ever need to see or hear, it's been done, it's been said, it's been heard. J6th, I still remember it as a day of celebration. You can tell me I'm wrong. You can tell me how you feel. Just don't go making laws in California against it, because it's dirty pool. It's just the table's completely warped. Well, I guess I did my thing, guys. I did my thing. I did not think that I felt up to coming on tonight. There's still plenty of problems within my own backyard, within my own house, so to speak, very, very literally. But that does not shift my attention, which is what the grand design wants to always do. It wants to take your attention. It wants to take your priorities and make them their own. They want to dictate and pull the strings all along the way without so much as a single gasp of anything that goes against the agenda. Please remain. Hey, Shamrock, thank you for everything you have sent my way. I am so thankful, sincerely. This is all I got. AC, is that actions not just, angry conservative, welcome. You're very welcome here. That's it. I didn't expect to do this. I just wanted to make a point. No matter what you're going through, keep your eye on the prize. Remember, there's a forest for the trees out there. Do not let them have you focus on one mere blade of grass while everything else is burning down. And the fire is getting damn near close. We're going to have to put it out in our own way. You know, when I start my closing arguments, it's time to go. So that's it. Adios. Celebrate whatever it is that this country was supposed to be, was meant to be. Everybody that's ever made a sacrifice and brought us to have the day that we have of freedom. Memorial Day having one day or a weekend versus Pride having an entire month. Yeah, that bothers me. I guess I'm a righty bigot now. I accept that. It looks like there's a massive portion of the population that can't accept who they are biologically. Now, that's fine. That's all well and good if we can have honest conversations. But once you make it something profitable, and once you make it an agenda and political, well, the fire, it's still burning. D. Libby, Don Shell, Shamrock, Katie, AC, everybody, that's it. I'm out. Good night. So keep that dialogue open with your children, with your family. I say that with eyes anew as of late. That's it.